This building behind me is built over Bloody Run Creek. Now you can see the creek about 30 yards in that direction. Bloody Run Creek was given this ominous name during the French-Indian War. The year is 1755. The French-Indian War was sparked when the French allied with American Indians, moved forces into western Pennsylvania, and built Fort Duquesne in what is now modern-day Pittsburgh. To counter the French incursion into western PA, the British moved thousands of troops here into the Allegheny Mountains. They established forts along the Allegheny Mountain Trail, Fort Loudon, Fort Bedford, and Fort Ligonier. The British also began transforming the Allegheny Mountain Indian Trail into a road to accommodate the heavy wagons of supplies and artillery. Now, when the British started building this road, this area was flooded with road workers and the support team that followed them. And this created a business opportunity. A lady named Betsy Tussey opened a tavern here, offering food, drinks, and lodging. Maps of this newly built road listed this place as Tussey's. But it was the creek beside Tussey's Tavern that would give this settlement a name that would last for more than 100 years. Bloody Run. Here's how the creek took its ominous name. As the British road crew was building a road through these mountains during the French-Indian War, Indians attacked that road crew and their supply train near the creek. It was a massacre. Men and livestock were killed, and the water ran red with blood. Somebody called the creek the Bloody Run, and voila, this town had a new name that just wouldn't go away. When you think of the Revolutionary War, you probably think of the big battles like Bunker Hill and Yorktown. But a deadly war was also being waged in rural communities like this one. The British government had dedicated a big chunk of their treasury to offer Indian warriors food, tools, and weapons. And while the British still paid for deer or muskrat hides, the big money was in scalps. It may not have been official policy, but a number of British officers started paying Indians for settler scalps. Now, these British hair buyers weren't buying scalps to be cruel. There was a strategy to it. By inciting Indian raids into rural America, young Americans who might otherwise join the Continental Army would stay home to defend their families. Throughout the Revolutionary War, small groups of Indian warriors raided this area, burning homes, destroying crops, killing settlers, and of course, taking scalps. The most notorious of all the British hair buyers was this man, General Henry Hamilton. Hamilton was a British officer and an amateur artist who was posted at Fort Detroit in what's now Michigan. Hamilton had good relations with America's Indians. He treated those Indians with respect. He paid their bounties without haggling. And warriors harvesting settlers' scalps came here to Fort Detroit to collect the bounty. Hamilton also honored those Indians using his artistic skills. Warriors bringing scalps for a bounty would often be offered a sketch portrait drawn by Hamilton himself to commemorate the moment. 1780, Captain William Phillips and his group of 10 Rangers tracked raiding warriors into the Woodcock Valley, finding burning homes, dead settlers, and deserted farms. By July 15, 1780, the Rangers had tracked those warriors to the home of Frederick Hester. Now, Frederick Hester's farm was attacked the previous day. His son was killed, and Hester had already escaped. The Rangers stopped for the night and slept on the floor of this deserted cabin. The next morning, Captain Phillips' Rangers awoke to find the cabin surrounded by more than 50 Indian warriors and 2 of their British advisors. They battled the Indians for several hours, but when the cabin was set afire, the Rangers were forced to surrender. Since William Phillips was an officer, he was worth more alive than dead, but not the Rangers. They were all killed. Captain Phillips and the scalps of his Rangers were taken to Fort Detroit for the bounty. The Captain Phillips Rangers Memorial is 24 miles north of Everett on Route 26. By 1783, the Revolutionary War is over. America had won its independence, and Bloody Run, it was a safer place to live. The threat of Indian attack was removed completely when this man, American General Anthony Wayne, defeated the Indian Confederacy in 1795. He negotiated peace with the Indian tribes. This made Wayne a hero. And this presented an opportunity for some town leaders to finally rid themselves of the name Bloody Run. They proposed we rename the town in Wayne's honor. And in 1795, town leaders proclaimed the name of this town was now WAYNESBURG. They meant it at the time, but the name didn't stick. Maps, travelers, even the locals would continue to call this place Bloody Run for another 80 years.